Hey, we're still figuring it out, but things seem to be rolling smooth now. Blaine Smith welcoming you to another no issues, no problems, flawless, classic stream. Hey, how's everybody doing in the chat? Rav Voltaire, Stargazer, Groot, Passionate Introvert, Troy is Metal, Mini Metalum, Vadator, Drunk Master Alex, Regor, Coffee Beats Tea, Damages Gabriel, Mr. Thrillburn, Pinky the Ent. We got some, hey, look, we set up, they're basic for now, but we got some notifications for when you guys follow, when you guys subscribe, when you guys give bits. So cheers for that. The foremost power metal expert. Hey, power metal is, we can get into it. We can get into it in a second. Hey, there you go. Thanks for the, we're getting rolling. Look at this. Notifications. Oh, that one was supposed to be a guitar sound effect, and somehow Twitch changed it, or Streamlabs changed it. Twitch didn't have anything to do with that. But hey, look at this. We got stuff coming in. It's letting you know it's happening. We can see it. You can see it. Coffee Beats Tea with the 100 bits. We got some more follows from Monjakos, B. Georgie. Hey, Aussie Rules. Good to see ya. So yeah, we're back Thursday. Normally, we will be doing Wednesday, Thursday every week. 4:30 on the BangerTV Twitch stream. Thursdays will not always be Lockhorns, but we wanted to give you guys a bunch of Lockhorns off the top because that's what we brought Twitch back for. That's the show you guys go crazy for. What does Blaine's head look like without a hat? Is it actually removable? My mic's attached to it, but I have a luscious head of hair. Hey, Holy Fracula with the sub. Cheers. Hey, that one worked properly, and we got a hype train going. Cheers. We'll figure out the bits. Next time. We can't figure it out all in one go, because then you guys wouldn't be, next time you tune in, you wouldn't be able to get excited about a new change. Thanks, Amateur Hour, for the follow. Look at this. We got alerts. Things are happening. Things are moving. This is great. Yes, we can sub now. John Grow, thanks for gifting the sub to Metal Health 2021. Cheers. Macho Pancho with the follow, seeing some names I recognize, which is exciting. Also seeing some names I don't recognize, which is exciting. That's always cool to know there's new people coming in. This is, of course, Lockhorns. We are doing a very special episode. I'm really excited because in the stream we have a pal, someone I've been pals with, but we've been palling through the computer screen. We've never had a one-to-one talk. We're Twitch pals. We've chatted in each other's chats to the other one on the video, but this is the first time face to face, even if digital. It's a very exciting day. I'd like to welcome an amazing musician, a fantastic streamer. Let's bring in our good pal, Grant Truesdell from Unleash the Archers. Yay! There he is, our boy, Grant Truesdell. He's here. Can you hear him? Can you see him? We're doing it. It's live. Hey, Grant, nice to see you.
Hey, cheers, dude. Good to be here. Can you hear me? Everything's all right?
I can hear you. Chat. If he sounds good, let us know. If he's too loud, if he's too quiet, we can fix those things. As you can see, this is a stream where things get fixed. That's the number one thing we can say about that.
We're doing it live.
Yeah, fuck it. We're doing it live. So I'm gonna toss. We'll toss. Grant, how you doing? What are you feeling? Give us a little. How do you do?
Dude, man, I'm doing very well. Had a pretty awesome weekend of shows here. We had a Hyperspace Metal Fest here in Vancouver. A bunch of bands played. I played 3 performances, 3 different bands. I went and saw
working hard.
Went and saw Beast in Black with Stryker and 7 Kingdoms last night. Awesome show. Stoked to come here and talk about one of my favorite genres of music, which is power metal.
And certainly one of your favorite genres. It would be strange if it wasn't, if a forefront expert in performing was not also a forefront expert in the genre. We got some people in the chat, some fans. Beer Kaiser saying nice Stein. Troy's Metal saying he saw you in Dallas. We've got some fans. Yeah. Hey, everybody, make some noise. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We got the Canadian connection over here. We're going coast to coast in Canada. Where you at?
Where's my power metal shirt? I thought I'd break the mold and keep you guys guessing to where I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah, right. You can't give it away. I've got a heavy metal shirt on. It's power metal adjacent. I do need to. The whole reason we're running this episode is for me to try and figure out if you guys know anywhere I can still get an Apex shirt.
Oh, I think they still exist.
I was rooting around for an Apex shirt because, man, I love that cover art. One of my faves, just looking like you're in your high school library and you find like a sci-fi fantasy novel and you have no idea what it is and you just like pick up based on the cover. You're like, I'm gonna give that a read.
Well, dude, I think that is one of the main characteristics of like a power metal album is like the covers are always very beautiful. Much opposed to yesterday's segment, Melodeath album covers.
I was comprising because I make fun of power metal a lot because, modern power metal, a lot of bands have made some certain decisions that I don't agree with, but I had to pull all the album art from 80s to now, and boy, there was a pretty unbeaten streak there of gorgeous album art.
Yeah, there's definitely a line between like gorgeous album art and like fantasy novel where it's like you don't want to go too far past that line.
Yeah. I don't like that with the coming of technology, power metal really got excited about technology and filters and stuff, and suddenly everything on the album cover's 3D, everything's coming right at you.
Even a lot of the old music videos where it's a lot of like cheesy CGI. Some of the Stradivarius music videos come to mind.
Yeah, everybody.
I mean, at the same time, it's so awesome.
Yeah,
because it's so bad.
Hey, thanks to Bono Brunei for the 100 bits. Ronster Monster with the tier 1 subscription. Vince Blasco with the 200 bits. New England Clam Chowder following. Thanks, gang.
Oh, man, we were 55 bits away from 666 bits on that train.
Damn it. The chat failed us.
We'll have to try better next time, chat.
Try better next time. Damn, everybody's really excited about power metal. This is awesome because, power metal is a thing I don't get to talk about as much. I am very opinionated. I'm a very love it or hate it with basically every power metal band in existence.
I think we could probably find some common ground there.
Yeah, right. I've heard your band. I think we probably have some similar feelings on what's good and what's not.
Yeah, because it is a very fine line too, where it's like it's either incredibly good or it's like, wow, this is like so cheesy that it hurts. Not in a good way.
I mean, the recurring theme we're having on all these streams is some things we're just like, well, Europe exists.
Yeah.
Europe is certainly a place in the world.
Yeah.
What else we got going on in the chat? All power metal bands need one guy who don't fit the mold. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't Banger already do an essential power metal albums a year ago? Hey, we can keep doing it. New people come in the chat, bring in their opinions. New albums come out. We get older, we get wiser, or we get more stuck in our ways. And it's a metal band debate. Is it ever going to be truly over? I think we could do an episode of power metal essential albums every week and probably still come up with different conclusions.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I have like pages and pages of bands that I was, trying to figure out who fits in the mold, because
it's a thing where I didn't really think about just going through how like power metal is so deep, like the stack of albums you can really go through, and surprisingly, unlike a lot of other genres, it feels like a lot of bands, instead of having like their like masterpiece album, they had like a masterpiece time where they released like 3 albums, and it's all just comes down to personal choice.
True, very true. Yeah. And I think it's like we'll probably talk about this. I don't know if now is the time, but there was like the the very pinnacle, like formative, like decade of power metal, right? And then more recently, it's like it's almost more modern power metal is more kind of hybrid, where it's taking even more influences, and it spawns to like progressive power metal and symphonic power metal, right? So, and then there's like hybrid ones that have kind of even more of a death, melodic death kind of element into it as well, where it's like you might not consider standard power metal. So
Yeah, I was listening to a power metal album the other day, and there was a harsh vocal in it, and I was like, "What? Where did that come from? Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
Bring that back." That was
Yeah, I think you can thank Children of Bodom for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we were. I mean, or should. Oh boy, yesterday debating whether Children of Bodom was a melodic death metal band. Someone in the chat maybe bring in them, but they're actually a power metal band, and then we got to add them to this chart too.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're a hard one to place, for sure. They're like power metal with harsh vocals.
Yeah, right.
If you had a clean singer on that, it would probably be on this chart.
Yeah. Well, I guess now's a good time. Maybe before we get into it, we should probably set some parameters. We should maybe define power metal for the folks in the chat.
For sure. Do you want me to go, or do you want to go?
I'll defer to you first, as you know. I think you got a bit more bona fides defining it for the chat than I do.
Sure. I mean, touching on kind of the protos and where I believe it kind of roots from before power metal actually becomes power metal is, obviously you guys have already had an episode on this. Rainbow was obviously mentioned, which I agree as being kind of a forefather of that, Richie Blackmore's Rainbows especially. But I think one of the first albums that you can kind of look at that was kind of power metal would have been Heaven and Hell by Sabbath in 80, right? And then also Iron Maiden and Priest, I think, are like the epitomes of any power metal band you look at. I think we almost have to look through a lens of, okay, can they be influenced by Maiden or Priest, especially Power Slave, Seventh Son, and then Priest, Screaming for Vengeance, and Defenders of the Faith.
Yeah.
I think those, and then also the Proto, I know you guys had Rising Force by Malmsteen as a power metal album, but I would also argue that is a Proto album, as well as maybe Racer X's like Street Lethal, right? So what do all those bands kind of have in common is, for me, what kind of defines power metal, which is twin soloing guitars, clean soaring vocals, usually fantasy story based, a lot of concept, lyrical themes, either a big story that goes through it all, very high tempo, double bass. The musicianship is usually very virtuosic. I think of power metal as being those proto bands, but then kicked up a few notches, right? So that, to me, I think defines power metal for myself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, very eloquently said, better than I would have said it. I would have just said putting an Iron Maiden 33 on 45. A little bit is how you get a.
I mean, that's essentially it. It's like it's Priest and Maiden on speed.
Yeah.
With Yngwie and Racer X elements and a touch of Dio sprinkled on top.
Yeah, I think probably for me, my favorite thing about power metal that they do manage to do, I think, better than any other genre, is play a guitar solo, but have a guitar solo that's not even making sense how technical it is, but it's still managing to be almost as hooky as a chorus. It's not just about showing off. There's definitely a rhythm and a bop, and the chorus is the solo to me, where every time I'm I just want to hear that solo three times throughout this song.
I think that's a really big part of power metal too, is there's a lot of melody.
Yeah.
Like every part is melodic. You know, the intro, there's going to be some sort of melody. The verse, the vocals are carrying a melody. The chorus, and then into the solos. The solos are super melodic, right? So it's just full of hooks and catchy, tasteful riffs.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
definitely.
I would also like to throw in that like a lot of the guitar playing is very riffy.
Yeah.
Like you know, in most power metal bands, I think true power metal anyways, it's more riff based than just hanging out chords. Right? Kind of like almost like a little bit of a thrash
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the early bands and a lot of the big, the early bands that would go on to be the big ones. A lot of speed / power metal at the start. You know, the bit of that speed heaviness to go on with things at the very beginning to then kind of fade into losing the speed, but getting into the big soaring power metal. But definitely, a lot of bands starting with the speed element there.
Mm-hmm. And it's like also in power metal, they're not afraid to kind of get a little ballady, but more on the side of like epics
Yeah.
opposed to like hair metal ballads.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing I like. Another things that really like kind of defines whether I like a power metal album or not. If like the power metal ballads I like are the ones where they slow down to the speed of like a normal song.
Yeah, true.
They're not even. It's like a ballad by power metal standards, but by any other band, it's like a mid to fast tempo track.
Yeah, and they usually don't stay there for the whole song. You know, Maiden always had a very hard time doing that. You know, they could start a song slow, but then it would like ramp up, and they'd be like, "Oh no, we're not getting back to that."
Yeah, the 30-second fake out where you're like, "Uh-oh, do I not like this album? Never mind, this album's the best album I've ever heard." John Gross, speed metal is for dads, power metal is for uncles. I'd maybe switch that around. The speed metal's for the dirtbags. The power metal's for like the responsible guy who like has a who has a job. You know, he's a computer programmer. He makes a decent living. He provides well for his family. And then on weekends,
speed metal was very short lived.
Yeah.
In a sense, and very kind of dirty production.
Yeah, right. Speed metal had that. I mean, there's definitely still a little sliver of speed metal, but there was a second where speed metal was like one of the biggest genres in the world, and now it's like, I always quote this. I said, oh man, I found this great speed metal record at a party one time, and a guy said, "You're making that up," and I said, "I'm making up what? Speed metal's not a genre." And I'm like,
yeah, it's a bit of a throwback for sure.
Yeah. Troy's metal. I'm a programmer. There's no way we don't have a couple of computer programmers in this chat. Absolutely.
Yeah. Probably lots of IT and programmers in the chat.
I resemble that remark. Yep. IT. Yep. Prater Zin. I'm a computer programmer. Yep.
Confirmed.
Huda Gulashi, programmer here. El Drastico, tech support, close enough. Renfield, ex-IT support, thanks. Amateur hour, I'm not technically a lawyer.
Yeah, Lost Horizon is great. Who said that?
Yeah.
/ Bunny.
I'm in healthcare laboratory IT. I'm just a tech enthusiast. That's what I classify myself as. I'm, a power user. I'm good with computers, but I can't do anything fancy with them.
No, I know how to do what I need to know for function. Everything beyond that, I've got a few guys on speed dial.
Yeah, right. Power metal power user. Yeah, I would also describe myself as a power metal power user.
So where do we go to next here?
Well, we can start getting into the nitty gritty with we can pull up our tier list, our tier chart. People love the tier lists, so we've got our tier list. We've got to make some decisions. at some point. Oh, John Grow, thanks for gifting the sub to Jazz Jackrabbit. Much appreciated, buddy. Yeah, so we got a tier list. And, oh, damn, Hashfire with the follow. Thanks so much. What was that old list? Old list? We don't got an old list. We got a fresh new list of power metal bands. We've got some albums here. We've got some of the big boys here certainly, and you know, we've just got to start. We've already started talking about the Newfound Color. Thanks for the subscription. We already started talking about the Proto. You might need to decide on a Proto, but ideally, up first, we might pick for you your absolute legend, the kind of like the band that you think wouldn't, you know, if it wasn't for them, power metal wouldn't exist. The kind of the shining example, the golden totem.
True. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to decipher between legend and proto.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Because maybe some of the, you know, the bands that I would consider a legend aren't exactly power metal albums, but we're trying to keep the legend as a power metal album, right?
Ideally, yes, we'd have.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
So,
it's also
you know
a little open to interpretation.
Yeah, because like I said, I think for Proto, up there I would put, you know, Power Slave, Screaming for Vengeance, Heaven and Hell, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, and like Rising Force. Like those are all albums I believe are like I don't know if that's too many to throw
That's
up
too many.
there.
That's way too many. We're trying to make
So Proto for sure. I would have Maiden and Priest in there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's do.
Right.
Okay,
you can go deeper. You go into Rainbow, you go into Deep Purple, and everyone to influence them. But as well, yeah, Dio I think is Proto too. You know, probably Heaven and Hell would be even like the first thing, because then he did Dio after that, with The Last in Line and Holy Diver. And I prefer kind of Last in Line to Holy Diver myself, but those are like, I mean, Dio himself, I think, is proto power metal, but the music in Dio's, like the instrumentation in Dio's music, I don't really believe is rooted in power metal. It's more just straight up heavy metal.
Yeah.
Personally, as a legend album, you know, I can't disregard Halloween's Keeper of the Seven Keys. 1 or 2. I'm personally a fan of 1 more. 2 has some really good songs as well. But I think that's like one of the first power metal albums.
Truly one of the first. Yeah, see, for me,
Right.
yeah, it's that hard thing where you like when you're picking the legend, it's like almost for me for the legend, but they're not exactly power metal, but you know, I've got it. You can see it in there. Cirith Ungol is like a really big temptation for me, because it's just like, I don't know. It's weird because it's like, it's almost like it's not power metal, but the vocals kind of turn it into power metal.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that like that album comes out, and then I believe power metal doesn't really kick up again until like the mid 90s.
Yeah, right.
So like, you know, Keeper comes out like 88, the first Keeper, along with another album that might not really ever be in this discussion, but I think deserves a consideration. And it's not your stereotypical power metal, but Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime, which also came out in 88. So you got Keeper of the Seven Keys 1 and Operation Mindcrime both coming out in the same year in 88. And, you know, Operation Mindcrime isn't musically, it's not like your fast tempo power metal, but it is a concept album for one, which is very stereotypical of
Very
power metal.
stereotypical.
And one of the first ones, you know, I mean, Keeper of the Seven Keys also came out just before that, or not Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Yeah.
Right. Which is also very proto. But yeah, those are my nominations for legend albums.
That
Keeper
is a
Seven.
lot of nominations.
Well, for legends, it's Keeper of the Seven Keys
Yeah.
one and Operation Mindcrime.
All right. Let me get Operation Mindcrime going here as well for the tier list, and then we can kind of maybe this is hey chat. This is a perfect opportunity for us to hit on over to the chat and get some poll action going on. Ooh.
Yeah, guys, because we this isn't just about Blaine and I. It's about coming to a consensus with everybody in the chat here. We're just gonna throw out suggestions and obviously take your guys' suggestions. I do, Stargazer, I do agree that Queensryche is definitely more proggy, and that might, maybe they are more considered in the uh, prog power metal, which maybe like Angra and Symphony X and stuff like that fall.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get some prog conversations going on in this.
So, but I think Keeper one, if you had to pick one album, would be my legend album.
That's definitely a pretty fair pick, I would say. But let's go to the chat. Hey, Craig, if you're in the chat, can we get a poll going? We'll put Halloween up against Queensryche and see how people feel about this one.
Because then it's weird, those albums come out and then power metal is pretty quiet.
Yeah.
For the next like 5 years. Like obviously Gamma Ray had some albums and
we've got some Manowar albums in the if depending on how much we want to branch out. Again, that's getting a little. It's like it's heavy power metal. How much is it power metal? How much is it heavy?
Yeah, personally, I would not consider Manowar power metal. I don't know if now is the time to talk about it, but
hey, this is exactly the time to talk about it.
Yeah, especially like bands like Manowar and most of Hammerfall even, are, I believe, more in the heavy metal spectrum of things.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean Hammerfall, you really only have. It's not even like there's. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but there's like one Hammerfall album that I even want to talk about. The rest of them, I'm kind of like a little like. Because, I mean, one of the weird things I've always found about Hammerfall is I've always found that one of the things they kind of lack compared to a lot of power metal bands is I find them kind of lyrically a little dull.
Yeah, because they sing about metal a lot. Same with Manowar. And a lot of power metal is more fantasy-based instead of literal.
We've got some in the chat.
And even Hammerfall themselves will always say they never wanted to be called a power metal band. They always just want to be a heavy metal band. Like they don't like that label. And I believe them because they're more like mid. Other than Legacy of Kings, which is the only album that's like. It is pretty fucking power metal, like that album is, but
yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's weird that there's like normally you have like the legend and then you have like this like pop up, but if you another band that could kind of be considered for the legend is you don't even really get them for how many years is it like. It's like almost like not 8 years. 8 years until you get a really powerful Blind Guardian album in Imaginations from the Other Side.
Yeah. Blind Guardian was pretty late in putting out really solid, not solid, but albums that actually stand the test. I don't know. I don't want to say anything here. I'm not.
This is the trick.
Like, because like Nightfall and the other one you talked about is like late 90s.
Yeah.
Risky words, I know, especially being in a power metal band. I don't. By no means do I want to talk bad about any band.
You can leave the bad talking for me.
And this is just a disclaimer that like I've always believed that. Musical tastes are just like food tastes. We all just have different tastes.
Yeah.
And not everybody's meant to like the same food, right? or the same music. So
Yeah, this is your legal
we
disclaimer.
we can like different things without thinking that something is necessarily bad.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I will perpetually make fun of things. But hey, it's all in good fun. It's all, I mean, I guess so. I mean, people like imaginations from the other side, but Somewhere is an earlier album. You got that in 92. You got Somewhere coming out in 92. I kind of like it better. Because it still has a bit of that heaviness left. They still haven't fully cast away the like speed metal-y roots, and so it kind of like gives this nice. It's like it kind of shows you what power metal is, but you get a little bit of like where power metal came from, and boy, do I like that album cover as well.
Oh, it's badass. I think Blind Guardian is deserving to be in the legend category as well.
But hey, let's go to the chat. We've got a legend from me. We've got a legend from Grant. Can we get a legend? The poll obviously was overwhelmingly Halloween.
Yeah, as it should be for sure.
Yeah. Can we get what's the difference between legend and essential? Jazz Jackrabbit. Legend is the band that, you wouldn't pick a band from 2016 as the legend. The legend is, the band that you think the power metal bands will talk about in essential might not have existed if it wasn't for this band. The band that you think inspired people and was a shining beacon of power metal in the an oasis in the desert to guide people to create the music they did. And essential bands are just, hey, great albums that we love, that we listen to all the time, and that we would not hesitate to suggest to a pal.
All around. That was beautiful.
And Craig chiming in from home. It's also a subjective fave pick by the BangerTV. Yes, that's also correct.
We get one.
Yeah. So Chad, do we have any other potential legends? Potential competitors for the throne. What is the chat saying? You got a bunch of you here. This is the time to do a classic. Hey, head on over to the tier list, Daniel. We've got Halloween and Blind Guardian up there in the potential legend category, and then what are you guys thinking? We've got a bunch of album covers down below. We can maybe even put something like Iron Maiden up in the Proto category. But hey, we got the internet. We can always download new albums. If there's something you think we missed, if there's something you really think needs to be up there, we got a lot of S's: Sonata, Savatage, and Stradivarius. The susses.
Yeah, I think a lot of those bands will make it up here, but I don't know if they are legend
category
status.
We got anyone? Hey, this is a chance. If you wanna go a classic Lockhorn style, give me a 300 word essay. I can a lot of people want to talk about Stradivarius though.
I mean,
they got the two legends. You think we did it in one? Nightwish, Oceanborn. Oh boy. Now we are. It's a little early to start talking about Nightwish, but are we counting Nightwish as a power metal band?
I would say no.
I understand that they have power metal, but this is that thing where when you have a band that's two genres, sometimes they're a fusion of two genres. Sometimes there's a genre that just stands out.
Honestly, I think Nightwish would be legend in symphonic metal.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, they are. If I think of they might be a symphonic power metal band, but they are a symphonic power metal band. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that is a completely genre in itself for sure.
Yeah. They might have been the reason for a lot of music, but I feel like a lot of the bands on this list, they are not the reason for. Iced Earth. Iced Earth is another conversation we can have, certainly. That's another one that gets there can be both sides for it, because that is a little power metal-y and a little not power metal-y at times as well. We also now have the spiciness of sedition involved in the
I think we got to leave that out of the conversation, because that has nothing to do with influential albums.
Yeah. If we were talking about bands, we might be able to kind of, but this is albums. At the time, these came out. No one had raided the Capitol, so so we can.
I don't know why we're laughing.
Because I guess we're laughing because we're in Canada.
yeah, Jesus, man.
What are chat's feelings on Iced Earth? Do they have a preferred Iced Earth album? Do they think it's because you're both Canadian? Yeah, Ravlitz there. What are we thinking? I think the American legend is Sanctuary, being a bigger band than Manowar because they have bigger influence and has Dave Mustaine's contribution. Sanctuary. American. It's interesting because even with power metal, you could break it down. You could have like an essential European and an essential North American power metal album debate in and of itself, because there is a different sound, right?
100%. Yeah, American power metal versus European power metal.
Yeah,
it is. They are two different ball games.
Yeah, you get, and I think that's kind of like reflected. Iced Earth is a good example of that, where you do get with the American power metal, you're getting a bit more aggression. You're getting a bit more. There's generally a bit of speed left over, or a bit of thrash, or something.
A lot of
there.
thrash.
Yeah.
Less, like, very little keyboard influence.
Yeah.
More riff based, thrashier riffs. Kind of like more aggressive vocal styles too. Not as clean. Usually a little bit of rasp, but as time goes on, it all starts to blend a little bit more, and it's less region based.
Whoa, what the hell? Damn, there's a vampire in the chat. He feeds on DVDs, and he converts those DVDs into 20 gifted subs for the community. Holy shoot. Dude. A big salute, DVD Vampire. That is a huge. We're going to hear that riff a bunch, and I think we let it play.
I'm not hearing the riff. You got a riff that plays when a sub happens?
We got a little riff. going. It's
nice.
It's a BangerTV. It's our little like sting when we go from part to part in the reviews. We got that going on.
DVD is a legend.
DVD Vampire, absolute legend.
Much love.
Thanks. I haven't even seen a comment from you in the chat. Just dropping a massive, just coming in and mowing down our chat. Anyone that stuck their heads up, not subscribed, got taken out. Very kind. We've got our Iced Earth poll is almost coming to close, and actually, I'm a little surprised. Pretty unanimously, people are saying, nah, not fitting into the power metal debate.
Oh wow, I'm surprised actually.
Yeah, I am too. That was kind of, I was kind of expecting a stronger showing, but that wasn't even close.
But then again, if you look at the base criteria that we were looking at before with the twin guitars, they really only have one lead guitar.
Oh, here we go. All right, look at you getting done. I like it. This is good analysis. Look at you. This is Sportsnet. This is inside the NBA. We're doing good. Yeah. I'm over here just being Shaq. I'm just saying dumb shit. trying to fit as many golf balls in my mouth or whatever the hell Shaq's doing.
Is that what he does?
He's always doing something silly. There's always a clip. I always get a viral clip of
Get this man some golf balls. Let's see what he's made
of
of.
Shaq showing that he can like how fast he can drink like a bottle of water. There's just him chain crushing 3 bottles of water where it's just like he just opens his throat and a bottle of water just disappears.
The bottle itself and all. Where'd it go?
He's a snake, giant snake. Yeah, wow. Hey, 73%, 40 people voted no to the 15 for yay on Iced Earth. We're cruising past Iced Earth. Iced Earth, boom, left in the trash. I was expecting that to take up some time.
Yep.
Oh, all right. Okay. So we've got 2 legends. We're having a lot of debate. We got the legends, we got the Proto, no debate there. And now that we're trying to get into some bands to toss up on here, we are having a little bit of trouble. But okay, here's one that I think that there's great debate within it. Certainly, I doubt there'll be any debate about whether they're included. But we need to decide which, because there he is. Is
that from the Hot Ones stream?
Just Shaq crushing a bottle of water. Oh man, you love to see it. Well, I do think we at some point, I guess we gotta start talking about Rhapsody. That's going to be one, right? I mean, there again, you get the dreaded S in there, but that one is one that feels a little bit to me like symphonic power metal, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think they kind of fall, even though it is very riffy, there's a lot of technical solos, but a lot of symphonic orchestration overarching the whole thing.
Yeah.
Keyboards is a very very, I don't know, touchy topic in power metal.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, when does it become symphonic and when is it not? And I think for me personally, when keyboards harmonize the guitar solos and are more focused on that is more power metal than just big operatic grandiose things like that. So
all right, for me I've got a bit of my argument a little bit for Rhapsody is the keyboards, and I mean this as a compliment, especially in the early days, especially when we're looking at like Symphony of Enchanted Lands. The keyboards sound so shitty. It doesn't sound symphonic. It sounds like, I mean, the Symphony of the Enchanted Lands to me is like they're DMing a game for me, and they've got like a little keyboard they're playing on the side, and they're trying to set the scene. Then they play a song that's a battle, and then I mean you even get at the what track is it at the end of oh fuck, what track is it on that album on the end of give me 2 seconds.
I mean, they have one of the most iconic Rhapsody songs on their Emerald Sword, which is like one of the most power metal songs.
Well, you
ever.
get
And
like,
I don't think this list would be complete without a Rhapsody album. In there, as symphonic as they are pretty much the epitome of power metal,
right? I mean, there's it's Heroes of the Lost Valley at the end when you get the DM coming in with he's even got a bit of like the DM lisp going on, the little nerd lisp with the yes, mighty warrior, what you hear now are the suffering voices of all the heroes that crossed these lands before you. They ended their quest tragically, but their thirst for victory is still alive and breathes through these ancient rocks corroded by the fury of the wind. Their pride now rides with you. Is like so. Oh, I don't know. It's something about symphonic always gives me like a bit more of like there's a bit more of a goth vibe. There's a bit more of like these people might have talked to a lady in their life. The Rhapsody, especially at the start, is like they went to an all boys school. They've never met a lady. They're in their basement. They got got the dungeon. They got the dungeon master manual out. They got their screen up, and they're all writing. They roll dice to decide things when they're writing. It's just like
they got like a bunch of lyrics that are all number coded. And like, all right, get the D20 out. What's the next line? And that album, Symphony of Enchanted Lands, comes out like right in the I would put like the golden era of power metal.
Yeah.
Right. Between like 97 and like 2001 to 2004 maybe. Or even a little bit early, 96 even.
Yeah.
But like during that time, I think there's going to be a lot of albums that are going to make this list from that era.
Yeah, right. So, chat, what are we thinking? Is there a you've got Symphony of Enchanted Lands, you've got Legendary Tales, you've got Power of the Dragon Flame, you've got a lot in there that could be. What is the chat thinking? Is the chat good with my Rhapsody choice, or does the chat have a different Rhapsody choice they want to put forward? Symphony of Enchanted Lands, I think Symphony should be it. We're feeling good about Symphony. Do we have any naysayers? I feel like
Symphony or Dawn of Victory, both those
Victory,
albums are really good.
Again, and also just like, man, I love the album covers of those.
Dude, that the Symphony album cover is like, if that doesn't scream power metal, a guy riding a dragon.
I can't believe that
it looks like a Super Nintendo game.
I know, right? You're just like, you get the CD and it's actually, you open up the CD, but inside is just a Hero Quest. You're like, wait a minute. I thought I walked out with a CD. This is the Hero Quest board game. I don't know. Symphony hands down. I think, yeah. We got, okay. All right. So we finally have something put in the essential, the debate doesn't seem to be raging. People are vibing. People are vibing this one. Yay! We got some yays. I'm in the chat.
We're locking horns, baby. We're locking horns.
Yeah, we've locked some horns. We've let some horns through. This is good. This is what we want. We've definitely got some contenders though. We've got some fun albums to talk about still. Because I mean, there's some big boys we haven't even talked about. And I want to get a little bit of. I'm gonna go up to pretty recent. I want to get to some newer albums in here too, because there's power metal is one of those things where you were talking about that dip, but once that dip's over, it just like never stops. It's just you've got all these on every level. You've got these massive European bands constantly playing open airs that are like fucking money making machines, and you've got small cool bands coming out doing their thing, and it definitely seems like a fruitful genre, especially if you live in Europe or Canada, North America's Europe.
100%, man. It's like after the early 2000s, coming into like the second decade, 2008 to now, it's just like there's a whole new, you could do a 10 list album of essential like modern power metal bands.
Look at us. We're just trying to spin this show off. We're having fun hanging out. We're trying to every second it's like, well, we could do another episode next time on Dragon Ball Z.
And like the Hoppy mentions here, Eternal Champion, and then you have a whole nother topic of like these new wave of like traditional band, like more traditionally influenced bands, exactly, Visigoth, Traveler, Eternal Champion, Silver Talon.
Metal Multiball, thanks for the 100 bits. That's Metal Multiball is a great name to say. Just pinball. There's something that's pretty power metal too. Pinball.
Blaine's Choice gets a 81% yay.
There we go. Good stuff. Like to hear it. I
see a lot of talk in the chat here. People want to talk about Avantasia.
And,
I do have them on my list of essential albums. For sure.
This is I will admit, this is a little bit of a blind spot for me.
Okay. Well, so Avantasia is Tobias Sammet from Ed Guys. you could say side project that ended up getting bigger than Ed Guy. And, Ed Guy is actually what I would also consider essential as well, but we can talk about that. But Avantasia Metal Opera, #1, I believe is an essential power metal album. I think it came out in 2000.
I got 2001 here, so good
2001.
memory.
Yeah, 2001. So like right in that heyday. I didn't want to get to Avantasia quite yet because I think there's some earlier albums that come before this, but only because the chat is going rabid over Avantasia right now.
Hey, the chat at some point, what the chat wants, the chat gets.
And so, Avantasia is Tobias. He called it Tobias Sammet's Avantasia, and he would get like, I don't know, 5 to 8 guest vocalists on every album, and they're all catered from power metal bands, right? So it's like this super group of power metal singers that do these big epic, the first album is called the Metal Opera.
Yeah.
Right. And you could also argue that these might fall into the symphonic metal, but only because of its grandiose sound. But the riffs there's so many like straight up power metal songs on a lot of those albums.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's an interesting way to do you can kind of get that supergroup thing. I mean, this is another power metal. There's like things I love about power metal, and there's things I hate. The so and so's, like the apostrophe S band names, where it's like, especially when it's someone like, I mean, for me, I don't know them. So when you open up something and it's like so and so's this, and you're like, oh, is this guy a big name? Should I know about this? Then you click on his like related bands and you're like, I haven't heard of your related bands either. Why are we apostrophizing this? Why isn't this just a normal band name? But yeah, Avantasia. All right, the chat seems to be on your side. This is, like I said, a bit of a I will never claim to be an all-knowing deity on power metal bands. I likes what I likes, and I likes a lot of it. But this is giving me some homework to go home and take a look at too.
I mean, I think we're making up for each other's blind spots pretty well here.
Yeah,
because
nice.
like Blind Guardian, I would never really got too into either myself. So I maybe had them as like essential just because I know they are essential.
Yeah.
But I don't know them well enough to like really dissect and go through it. Just because I'll listen to it and be like, okay, I like this, but I don't go back to listen to it.
Yeah. For me, Blind Guardian, yeah, definitely. Like, we'll say I don't own a lot of Blind Guardian albums, but I really like the ones I do own. We'll put it tactfully for you. We'll do a little tact. All right, we're getting where are we moving on? We've got so we've had a Blaine, we've had a bit of a chat. You said you were getting a little ahead of where you wanted to get. Where do you think between Rhapsody and Avantasia, what would you drop in there?
Well, I think no power metal list would be complete without Stradivarius.
Yeah.
I think, even though they only have one guitarist.
Well, all we're doing is breaking rules this time, yeah.
Right? But I think they're the exception there because as another proto band that I would have put in there would have been Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force.
Yep.
Right. So they're more along the lines of that, right? With just like a keyboardist, really shreddy keyboardist, and then an incredible guitarist too, with Timo Tolkki.
Timo counts as 2. We got a couple in the chat saying Timo's 2. Yeah.
So I think the 2 albums that are up for consideration for Stradivarius would be Episode and Visions, right? 96 and 97, which I think overall for me Visions is a better album start to finish, while Episode has some really standout tracks.
All right, Well, hey, this sounds like a great thing to hit the chat with a poll on. And
Odresco would go with Destiny.
All right. Destiny's pretty good, but Visions is better.
Yeah, I never really got too big into Destiny myself.
What are we locking horns about? We're locking horns overall about Power Metal Band, but right now we're deciding Stradivarius Visions versus Stradivarius Episode. It isn't their best, but I love Elements 1. From the chat.
Elements 1 is a really good album too. Yeah. I agree. They get a little more popular, I hate to say, more like kind of commercial, less grittier, but like, oh man, there's some really good songs on there. Eagle Heart is like one of the catchiest power metal songs you'll ever hear. Very simple. And then yeah, Find Your Own Voice, Learning to Fly, all really good songs. But
all right, I'm getting a poll fired up. For the chat.
So Elements Part 1 is so effing cheesy. Says Passionate
introvert.
It is. Yeah. So like, that's why personally, I would, my vote is for Visions. You guys vote for whatever you guys want.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the poll in the chat between the two, because we'll stick with the early. Because again, if we're starting to get that late, we're not filling in that hole we were trying to fill in.
True. Yeah. Because Elements is like 2003.
Yeah, and then we can start really getting pretty. 2003, we got a lot of stuff to start talking about.
Yeah. The early 2000s, there's some incredible power metal albums that come out, even by some bands that only last a couple albums.
Yeah,
but I would consider like almost legendary status because of it. Like some of my favorite power metal albums are from bands that only put out like a couple albums.
What year?
Or only put out like a couple really good albums that I really like.
Now,
yes. You guys are starting to guess one of them. Yep.
Lost Horizon. Oh. We've got some Lost Horizons in the chat for sure. Well, I mean, okay, let me check. Let me just do a quick year check to see if I'm gonna dab in first with a band that, yeah, I guess, okay, all right, yeah, I guess we'll wait for this poll to end, and then we can. The chat seems to really wanna. The horizon might be lost, but the chat wants to find it. We might have to. Might have to start heading off in a lost horizonly direction. Okay, well, there's still the chat. The chat seems to have very emphatically decided on Visions. 94%, 32 votes. Visions is locked in. Good showing. All right.
Yeah.
So Lost Horizons will segue well into mine based on the yearage, but chat, we got a lot of Lost Horizons in the chat. Someone in the chat, give us a little Lost Horizon spiel for us to read out. Anyone wanna get their fingers warm? Get the blood pumping. You know, has your Apple Watch told you need to get moving? Let Grant talk about them, lol. All right. Hey Grant, the chat. Lost Horizon is one of the most standout vocalists in the genre. Hyman is like Halford on steroids. All right.
Yeah,
Do you
very
want to
well
take it
put.
away from there?
I agree, man. I agree. It's I think he's one of the best power metal vocalists out there. Which they only lasted 2 albums, 2001 and 2002, with "Awakening the World" and "A Flame in the Ground Beneath." Another band that was one guitarist with a keyboard. So there are exceptions to the twin. The twin axe attack. But dude, yeah, he's got the best wah in the business. Like his wah, like unbelievable range, power. And dude, it is a real shame that they only lasted 2 albums. I believe they're from Finland, somewhere over there. Another band that only lasted 2 albums that was also phenomenal. Twilightning. Sweden. Thank you.
Sweden.
Thank you.
They did add a guitarist on their second release. I'm seeing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did they? Someone's saying. Let's check. Let's check. 2 guitar players on the second release. Yes. But is the second release the best release?
I don't know if I could pick a favorite between the two. I think they're equally as awesome, because they're both, 1 year apart. I don't think much in the band changed. Production in the second album is a little bit better, I think. It's a little less rough around the edges. But Sworn in the Metal Wind on the first album is like probably their most badass power metal song. And then they have a few more like mid-tempo epics, and they're a little like on the proggier side, you could say, as well, in some like time signatures and things like that. But Daniel Hyman's vocals are like standout power metal vocals.
yeah. It's like a lot of there's always, I feel like with a lot of these bands, the thing that as we're saying, like that roots them in power metal for us sometimes is just all it takes is like a wah held for long enough, and you're like, never mind, that's power metal. Sorry, power metal gets this one. Power metal gets this one. That wah.
Yeah. And vocals for me are a very big determining factor in whether or not I like it.
Yeah.
It's like either it's like, okay, that just doesn't have enough like balls to it to grab me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely like there's like I feel like with most vocalists, for me, there's like, especially once we start getting a little more modern, there's like, I'm looking for that little twinkle in their eye as they're singing, where they're like, this is fun. This is fun. Like, there's a funny element, there's a silly element to this, and I'm embracing it, and I love it. And you get that kind of like that like wink and nod in the vocals. You can just hear it, and it just kind of makes everything so much more fun when you go like, it's like simultaneously it's one of those things where it's like, we understand that there's a bit of a joke here, but but we know there's a bit of a joke, and we love the joke, and we're all here celebrating it. It's like part of what I love about power metal band. It's, there's a band I'm going to talk about later that certainly does that in their especially in their music videos. I'm a big fan, but that's getting way ahead.
The little hints there.
Yeah.
Everybody curious.
Got baiting the hook, keeping them going. There's a couple people from my chat that probably know it's an album that I played a lot and was really excited when it came out. When I found it, I was like, but anyway, like I said, we gotta make a decision. We gotta make a decision here.
Yeah, with Lost Horizon, because they only put out the 2 albums, although them being very exceptional, I had them on my list as like honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, okay.
Because we're trying to keep this list to 10.
Yeah.
It's like, and there's a lot of great power metal albums that I almost feel are more deserving as essential, as much as I hold Lost Horizon in probably like my top 5 personal favorites.
Okay. All right. Wow, look at you
I,
being diplomatic and not just saying they're my favorite. Too gosh darn bad. I don't care what the chat thinks.
yeah, I think objectively there's more essential albums to the genre. It's a really tough call, only because we're trying to limit it to 10.
Well,
Yeah, so I don't know what chat feels like, if you guys think it's essential or if you think it's the rest.
well, I'm gonna toss a poll in the chat.
Iron Maiden is not power metal. No, we're not saying Iron Maiden is power metal.
No, we're saying it's if the like the inventing the wheel, the person who invented the wheel might have seen something slightly round before filing off those edges. Thrash Maniac saying, I'll make a case for Iced Earth Burnt Offering to be on the list, an important album for the U.S. power metal sound in the 90s. Plus, it's the heaviest power metal album ever for the Slayer and Metallica influence it shows. Dirty, nasty, epic, and powerful. My kind of power metal. Dante's Inferno, enough said. Great point, Thrash Maniac. We voted earlier, and the chat said no to Iced Earth being included.
Very passionate.
Yeah, you busted into the courtroom. You were like, Your Honor, you must exonerate this man. I have evidence that he is not guilty. And they're like, uh-oh. Well, we just executed him. He's out back, unfortunately. But yeah, all right. So we've got the Lost Horizon poll going on. It's looking like Lost Horizon might not make it, and a little more. I guess maybe there's a we just keep spinning this off into the other episodes. The essential list and the like. Oh, you like power metal? Here's that good shit. You gotta
you
hook
need the secret knock to get.
Yeah, to get in the back to get the good stuff. So. This is how the list is looking so far. Okay, now for me, this is weird because in my head, this is always like they're huge. Hey, Gnossing, thanks for the follow, and Artificial Fate with the sub a little earlier, and Aussie Rules with the 10 bits, much appreciated. I always think this is like one of the biggest power metal bands, and then I talk about them a lot, and then occasionally people are like, yeah, but most of the time people are like, what? For me, like one of my all-time favorite power metal bands, favorite power metal albums, I was looking at lists online to see if there's any blind spots in anything, and no one had a Power Quest album on any of their lists. And am I alone in Power Quest?
Power Quest, that is one that has escaped my radar.
Really? Power Quest Neverworld in 2003. Another 2003 band. This is like there's one of the Blaine made them up. This was a test. You passed. Never heard of them. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm already booted. All right. Well, I'm going to say, if you haven't heard Power Quest, I would like Power Quest, but wouldn't have put them as essential because I know how obscure they are. It's how there's those bands you kind of drum up in your head where you go like, this, you love the album so much that you're like, yeah, power metal wouldn't exist without Power Quest. And then who? Never heard of them. Okay.
That's the same thing with Twilight Lightning. Put out an album early 2000. I only found out about this album this year.
This year?
By Twilight Lightning, and it's in like my top 5 power metal albums of all time. I'd never known about it. So I come into this accepting that there's probably incredible albums that I still haven't even heard.
Right. This is the thing about power metal that's kind of, again, we were just talking with the the genre just being so absolutely deep. This Twilight Lightning I haven't heard of. Power Quest people I haven't heard of. Neverworld is so great. There's times on it where the hey, there we go. We got a Power Quest UK power metal I love it. I think it's amazing. You've got a point on the album where I swear the keyboards, like, they almost sound Van Halen-y. It's like there's almost this like Van Halen quality to it that I just absolutely love. And man, Power Quest is some really cheesy power metal, and I love it. Okay, we got Power Quest is a British power metal band where the guitar player of Dragon Force has played on an album. This is true, and I guess maybe if we're in 2003 and someone has said the D word in the chat, we now are legally obligated to discuss. Legally obligated to discuss.
Dude, I can't wait to check out Power Quest now.
Power Quest, I love Power Quest. They have a bit of a dip, but especially like the past like 2 or 3 albums have been really solid. And yeah, if you go back, Neverworld's awesome. It's like full cheese, like UK full cheese, and yeah, it just makes me so happy. But yeah, we've got to talk. Okay, we didn't do it for a while. We're now at the point we're talking about 2003, which means the year after 2003 is, of course, or wait, not even the year after 2003. Valley of the Damned came out in 2003.
Did it?
But this is where we have the debate.
We're not skipping Snow to Arctica. Don't worry, I won't let that happen.
But yeah, 2003 for Valley of the Damned. So, actually pretty early, and I mean, certainly not their biggest album. So we've kind of got, I put both the thumbnails in here because we've got Valley of the Damned, which people might pick, but we have Inhuman Rampage in here. Whether you love it or hate it, that is a meaty album.
Yeah. I mean, it needs to be in the discussion of power metal albums for sure. You can't. I don't think you could talk about power metal and not have Dragon Force in the conversation.
Yeah.
My question coming into this list is like, yeah, how modern are we gonna get? Because I almost do believe you could almost have not to drag this out, but like you could have a whole new list of like a new wave of modern power metal bands,
yeah.
Which kind of start with Dragon Force and Sabaton,
Yeah.
And then have, tons of other bands like Brothers of Metal and Powerwolf and Beast in Black and Battle Beast and Glory Hammer and Ailstorm and all the newer bands. Like you could have another debate about the 10 most influential like new power metal bands.
Well, and then we also get with is pirate metal power metal, or is it pirate metal?
True.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it just feels like I think we're doing like, because there's a couple of newer albums I wanna at least talk about. I think we're gonna get up there. I think we're gonna get up there a little bit. So yeah, for me, I mean, I was in a nice crosshairs for Dragon Force. I think, yeah, with Inhuman Rampage coming out in 2006, I was 20. I went to that tour, and man, I know people can get a little snooty about that album because metal fans always like to get mad when something gets huge, but having that album come out and seeing those songs like live for the first time was like absolutely insane. Yeah. Starting the show, everything blacks out. There's a clock on stage. The clock is counting down for the start of the show, and I had midnight, or they had 2 minutes to midnight playing. Again, there you go, linking back to our Proto album, and then 2 minutes to minutes playing. There's a countdown clock, and then the countdown ends, and they come out. And Dragon Force, when I saw them on Ozfest, was horrible. That's crazy because, yeah, I've seen them a couple times, and man, just just dudes in stretchy pants doing deep lunges. I love a keyboard. I love a keyboard player that has like a keyboard, but every once in a while he's got to put on the keytar because he's got to come out. There's no way he can stay rooted to one place for an entire show.
I would not be able to do that. No.
Right? Just change it. No, I want to get up. I want to party.
Yeah, no. We've played with Dragon Force many times, toured with them, and they do have a bad rap about not being able to play well live, but I think that is completely crushed when you go to see them.
Yeah,
because they are tight as hell. And I think deserves to be in an essential power metal album list because how big they got.
Yeah,
especially
right.
in the 2000s.
I mean, if again, this is the thing where we got into this argument a little bit yesterday with the Arch Enemy and the melodic. People would be like, "No, don't put Arch Enemy in there." And it's like, look, you can feel the way you want to put Arch Enemy, but you can't denying that Arch Enemy or Dragon Force is like essential to the genre, and like you couldn't tell the complete story of the genre without talking about this band and talking about these albums. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. We're gonna see who picks Valley of the Damned and who is brave enough to admit they like Inhuman Rampage. Who in the chat is brave and who in the chat is a coward? We're about to find out. Start poll.
You should have a poll down there, Ace. They're at the top of the chat.
They're at the top. Which Dragon Force you got? And hey, Lord Rocktor, thanks for the follow. Decapitation, what's up? Thanks.
I hate to do this, but I just need to take a quick bathroom break.
Hey, absolutely. I can man the show. This is what we do. Oh man. I can't explain how to do it. We forgot to set up the button. At some point during the show, we will have to run just a little ad break, which we have to do. But I forgot to set up the button beforehand, which would have been a great opportunity for us to do this right now and do a little. Can I do it in the chat with a mod thing? No, I don't think so. No. Blaine, now that we got you alone, my wife says your partner's house plant game is on point. It is. She's got over 100 houseplants in our house. Most of them are not dead. They don't die. Hey, Nosting, thanks for the subscription. We've managed to every day I feel like my house is shrinking because I come in and it's like the slowest horror movie in the world. Plants. There's just suddenly like less walls and more plants, and I'll walk and something will brush me and I'll be like, is that plant always there? And my wife will like get shifty eyes and just over 100 plants in our house.
I hope you guys don't have to move anytime soon.
No, we've secured the home. The home is ours. We're not going anywhere. Especially not with this housing market, right? Am I right, ladies?
Hello.
Hey. Good oxygen at Blaine's. Yeah, you walk in, it smells fresh. Yeah, my house is very alive. 2 cats, a dog, and like 105 houseplants, Hey, look at the chat. Maybe they were swayed by me. Maybe I made a case. Maybe they were scared to look like a coward. But we have a pretty strong Inhuman Rampage. Rampage going on.
I can get behind that.
I mean, come on. There's like what song? Whether you like it or not, what song would you not sing along with on that album? That's one of the few albums where there was a bonus track, I think, on one of the What was the bonus track? I think I even Lost Souls and Endless Time. I even like the bonus track, and normally I'm like, man, bonus tracks, get out of here. If it wasn't good enough for the album, don't put it on here. Don't try and sneak an extra half-baked song on me. This is a bonus track for the special edition. Yeah, special edition. You're making the special edition the less good edition, because if it was good enough if it was that good, it would have been on the album. All right, well, 27 brave souls are willing to stand in front of the fire. They don't care about people trying to say they're a sellout or a poser. They're not. They know a good album when they hear it. Dragon Force, Inhuman Rampage in the list.
66.6% of chat.
A beautiful number. A beautiful number.
It was destiny.
I'm struggling with the word essential, which clearly doesn't mean best. That's also a thing, right? You know, sometimes there might be an album you like by a band, but the album, you know, they made it. It didn't really, you know, it didn't really hit. You know, we could start talking about some Pantera albums here. But
yeah, I think I have a lot of albums that I would consider like my favorite that I wouldn't consider essential.
Yeah, right. Power Quest. Ain't nobody heard of
Who? Not yet. Not yet. Maybe next time when we do this, they'll make it
I had
up.
the same thing happen when the first thing I ever did with Banger, I did lock horns on the genre of Death Doom, my favorite genre in metal. And I came and I was like, I think the best band in Death Doom is the modern carriers of the torch, Hooded Menace. And then the amount of people, and then everyone in the chat, who? And I was like, well, I now have my life's mission, and ever since then, ever since then, I've unofficially made myself the head of Hooded Menace's street team, and now I'm out there putting stickers and flyers up, and nobody's asking me to do it. People are asking me to stop, but every once in a while, I started listening to Hooded Menace from you on my Instagram or in the chat, and I'm like, yes.
We got some love for Hooded Menace in the chat here.
Yeah. I've ensured ahead of the curve. Hooded Menace is big now. Happy to say it. You know, you can hear something about guitars where you go, oh, people need to love this. People need to love this. But we're not doing Death Doom lock horns. We are not doing Death Doom lock horns. We are doing power metal lock horns. I did get into Hooded Menace because of you, Blaine. Thanks. Thank you, Matt. To be honest, Psionic Firestorm is a good album. The best thing I can say about Sonic was the solo was epic. Sadly, though, the entire album isn't based on solos, no matter how good they are, and even they tire after nearly an hour listening to. However, while Sonic Firestorm may not have inspired melodies, it's still a solid album deserving a fair amount of attention. Death Doom Lockhorns, yes, please. Yeah, look at, man, we're crushing the spin-offs here. We are this interest for future projects. Look at us.
Start doing this every day of the week.
Yeah, you and me. Hey, I think we've got to change that logo down there. We got to get rid of Unleash the Archers under your name. We got to just put Banger. You're moving in. You're moving into the studio with me.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
All right. We've locked in Dragon Force, ladies and gentlemen, folks. There you go. There you go. Super fan. Hooded Man has never heard of him. That shirt, the white and purple shirt, I got at. Everybody always asks where I got that shirt, and the first time I ever saw them play was at Maryland Death Fest, I think in 2011. And I was there almost. I went to Maryland Death Fest almost exclusively to see them. I was all excited. I had this like big wad of bills.
$1 bills. Maybe.
I had this big wad of bills running ahead with this big wad of bills, going to the merch table, being like, "I'm gonna buy everything they have." And I was like, "What do you got for sale?" And then Lass was like, "We have a T-shirt." I was like,
only in one size.
It's like, that's what we have. All right, dude.
I'll take 10 of them.
Yeah, give me 12 copies of that.
Sorry, I only have 3.
All right. Okay. I have 2 Hooded Menace vinyls because of Blaine. Thanks, Solar Core G and Chick Puncher. Me too, man. Thanks, Blaine. All right.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other people checking out Hooded Menace now tonight.
Yeah, put him in as in Power Quest. I want to move some
I
units
definitely
today.
will be. I've never listened to them.
Yeah, man. Oh, the guitar tone. But again, don't get me. I'm already getting. We're already revving that engine too much. It's a mistake. Like we can't do it. We can't
You're
do
down.
it. We can't do it. Okay. Look at Blaine with his skinny little arms. What a glow up. Yeah, I bought a house and put a gym in the garage, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Got the guns out now. All right. What we I directed this a little bit. Grant, what's your next topic? What's your next album? What are you firing off?
Oh man, I think it would be hard to talk about power metal with neglecting a certain country that puts out some incredible power metal, and that is going down south to Brazil. And there's two awesome power metal bands from there that I'm really into. One being Angra, the other being Hybria, which not to take up too many slots here, but I think they both have essential albums that deserve to be considered for the list. Goblin Metal hit it right on the head of the nail with Temple of Shadows in 2004 is my personal favorite. You can also argue that Rebirth in 2001 and possibly Holy Land in 96 could be considered, but for me, Temple of Shadows, if I'm giving anybody an album to be like, okay, you want to check out power metal, check out this album. Temple of Shadows is just incredible musicianship. It is, we played with Anger, and I've talked to the guys, and they're like, yeah, we're never writing an album like that because it is so hard to play live. And the musicianship in it is just like is some of the best musicianship you'll ever hear. The intro to Temple of Hate is one of the craziest power metal intros I think I've ever heard in a song. But I would like to nominate Angra, Temple of Shadows to be an essential album.
The chat seems to be on your side, and also pull up the album artwork. A rare distinction. Metal Archives. There's 20 reviews of the album, Angra's album, Temple of Shadows. The average of the 20 reviews is sitting at 93%. That is a lot, especially we know what Metal Archives reviewers can be like. I didn't like one track, 0%. All it takes is,
they're unforgiving on there.
Just you make one wrong step. It's a Indiana Jones temple in there.
That album, and start to finish, that album is just a masterpiece. Another concept album. Story running from start to finish. So much depth. You got Kiko Loureiro as one of the guitarists, who is one of my personal favorite guitarists, and Achilles Priester, who is like my favorite power metal drummer. This is an album that I can honestly say is in my top 5 favorite albums and is essential.
You love to hear it. Passionate for 20 reviews by the same person with 20 profiles? I don't think so. I think this is an honest 20 reviews. So we've got that added to the list. It doesn't seem like the chat is arguing. No one in the chat seems to disagree.
And then actually, while we're still on Brazil, Hybria's debut album, Defying the Rules. I personally, I put it in my top 5 power metal albums of all time. Is it essential? I'm not sure. Maybe it's in the rest. Maybe it's essential. It is a crazy good album, and really epitomizes what power metal. It's like there's no ballads. It's straightforward, very Racer X riffage, shred, crazy vocals. Guitar solos are insane. Another concept album, very, very common.
Sador has an interesting point. Sador 42. There needs to be some vinyl releases of these essential albums. And this is an interesting thing that for some reason, power metal's a genre that, like, hasn't, never really, and almost still hasn't like embraced vinyl the way kind of everybody else has. Still, power metal really loves CDs. It's a strange.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it is. It is weird, which is makes no sense because the artwork is all so awesome that it deserves to be plastered.
Deserves to be
Maybe not.
plastered.
Maybe not more so this one. This one's a little cartoony.
Yeah.
But you know, but then Hibra is one of those bands that like had a really good first and second album. They're still going. They've had to go through so many different lineup changes, and but the first two albums are like really straight up power metal, and then they kind of go into more of a almost new metally, you know, drop tuning, open drop tuning. Then they go into like a more of like a funk kind of influence for some albums, funk jazz, right? And now they're kind of starting to get back into power metal, but that first album is just balls to the wall power metal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the other thing that really kind of power metal bands suffer from is the for whatever reason power metal is like power metal and death metal really competing for the, like, you look at the complete the complete member list on Wikipedia, the chart, and the chart's like this long. It's a grocery list. You're like, how the hell did you have 12 guitar players? Yeah, my comic get Rod live. Thanks, Blaine. Hey, that's what we're doing here. Give you a high-res digital release, and I'm happy. I agree. I do. You know, as long as I can get a nice Bandcamp download, I'm feeling good. But man, when I'm vibing an album, I wanna, I like throwing money at things I like and getting a nice shiny physical object out of it. And vinyl feels so good in your hands. CDs, it's like it creaks. It's hard to differentiate between a beautiful album and an old copy of Windows 95.
Yeah, passionate introvert. He agrees with Grant. Hibra is really cool, but I think it's too much of a deep dive and not essential. I agree with that.
This could be you get one, Brazil gets one.
Yeah. I think it is the rest, to be honest, because there are so many other essential power metal albums bands that we haven't even gotten to yet.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep it. We'll keep it. Deserves a nod with the rest, but okay. So we talked a little bit about Hammerfall. I think this is we've been pretty lucky in that with most bands there's been a balance between the two of us. I think look, if we want to, I mean, Hammerfall, it seems like we have no choice but to talk about. But it seems like, hey chat, do you have any interesting opinions about Hammerfall? Because we have them. We're just testing you. We just want to check that you have something to say about Hammerfall, and not that neither of us are the biggest Hammerfall fans. At least here in Europe, they revived the whole genre. Okay, so we can make I'm down for a I'm down for a Hammerfall putting the team on their back argument. That certainly can check out. Hammerfall equals cheese-tastic. Legacy of Kings is excellent. Is Legacy of Kings the album, people? Sick album artwork, at least. I mean, I love the Glory to the Brave is a great looking album cover. I mean, you're like, you can look at that for a very long time. That's a very, very rad suit of armor, which is, I mean, isn't that what we all want? Isn't that why we're listening to power metal? Because we just can't own our own full set of armor, and having a bunch of power metal albums is the closest thing. Hammerfall got Rock Robbins into metal. Hammerfall got Fesker into metal. It's Proto Elden Ring. We got a new poll up. It's Hammerfall's the first Souls-like. Okay, this is great. We've got a poll up. You can vote. And then also the nice thing about having best Hammerfall album, hey, if you got to make your voice known, because if sometimes you do one of these polls and it's like best Hammerfall album and you're like, all right, Legacy of Kings is the best Hammerfall album. How many people voted for them? 4.
Yeah.
It's like everybody just silently voted. None. Hey, Zirconla Rattlehead. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow and the tongue twister. I appreciate it. Yeah, for me, the Hammerfall, again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but lyrically, it's a lot of songs about metal. And I can find there's a bit of repetition in the vocals and then the lyrics, and I don't necessarily jive with the Hammerfall as much as some of the others. You know, I feel like that's the thing. You know, a lot of the time with power metal, you get just something just doesn't click.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same with Hammerfall. I never really got into them. I think personally, just because they're just a little too stripped down and maybe too mid tempo, not pushing the envelope, which I think power metal really speaks to. You know, because you think of Iron Maiden, Priest, Dio on Speed. You know, it's more along the lines of Maiden and Priest, right? Almost slowed down.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot, as you said, talking about metal, more literal things, kind of like Manowar as well.
Yeah.
Which I think both Hammerfall and Manowar kind of fall into more just heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
You know, it's like more of that. It's a really tough thing though, because Legacy of Kings is like, you listen to that album and it's like, okay, this is very power metal. So with that album being kind of the exception, it's a really tough one for me to say, because I've never really been into them, but I know how they're genuinely considered power metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Well, we've got another poll in the chat. We've got, does Hammerfall deserve to be on the essentials list? So the chat, you can help us decide, are they power metal or are they heavy metal? This is kind of the great equalizer. And boy, this is an exciting. This is head to head. Oh, we've got some no's pulling ahead a little bit. Oh, this is a tight one. This is a tight race. Boy, man, we didn't have the polls. We didn't have the polls when we did it on YouTube, right? I love these. Man, I love these polls. There's something so satisfying about clicking it, the thing shifting. Oh, man.
It's nice having everyone's voices heard, too, because we can't know everything.
Yeah. I like and man, this,
wow, this is really close.
This is
guys,
really
if
close.
you haven't voted yet, have your voice be heard.
You got like a minute left. Does Hammerfall deserve to be on the essentials list? It's very tight. This is one of those times when your vote could make the difference. This is the 2000 presidential election, and you're in Florida, baby. Yeah, the prediction feature, we do a little thing on my.
Oh man.
Oh my God. What? Oh my God, 22-22? Is someone going to break the tie?
No way. How do we sort this out now?
You all have to break the tie? Okay, here's the issue. I voted in the poll. I partially caused the bottleneck. So, Grant, did you vote in the poll?
I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're all part of the same pool.
Guess decision though. Flip a coin. Damn, we need to call up Rhapsody and borrow some dice. Hey, Zen Gibbs, thanks for the tier 1 subscription. 3 months in advance. Much appreciated.
I know they're very influential in the power metal realm. You know, like Dragon Force. I know Sam was really big into Hammerfall in the forming of
Yeah.
Dragon Force, right?
Yeah.
I know Hammerfall themselves don't like to be considered power metal.
So maybe Hammerfall's breaking the tie for us. Hammerfall says they're not power metal. Does that break the tie?
I don't know. But I do know that I've seen many interviews of them saying that, and that they've always just tried to be a heavy metal band.
I think that breaks the tie. I think we'll put them with the rest, but I think Hammerfall. I mean, that's not even the album people voted for, so my bad. But they're getting represented anyways. That's the power metal. That's the Hammerfall album I'm most likely to listen to. No, bands never want to be put in a genre. I don't know. I think bands sometimes. I mean, Hammerfall wants to be put in a genre. They want to be put in heavy metal.
Yeah, because I kind of see them with like, even though their sound is not anywhere like it, but like, I know Accept was kind of considered in this list, and one of the other Locking Horns, and like Manowar, and who was another band I was just thinking of, like Sabotage, even.
Yeah. All right. Well, that simultaneously decided and didn't even close to decide Hammerfall's place. But I think it's time to move on, and maybe we'll move on. Maybe we'll move on to another. This was spicy. I liked this. Maybe we should keep it spicy and move on to another band that a lot of people have mentioned. A lot of people say should be on the list, and a lot of people might give a little pushback, a little friction. Certainly a band that causes some friction, but also causes a lot of love but is undeniable in the power metal space. Sabaton.
Interesting. Yeah. Sabaton. That's a big player.
It's a big player.
In the music world these days.
We immediately got a hell no. I mean, tossing it up, right? We got a concept album. We got a concept album that was released in both English and Swedish. Interesting. Oof, no. Oh, man. We're getting essential for modern, sure, but in general.
Yeah, I can,
Skip.
That kind of resonates with me.
I've never heard
I have them in my list here, but I also have an arrow going new wave of modern power metal. Right. But then again, I had Dragon Force in there as well. And if we're starting to get into more modern stuff and like an updated list, I think they might need to be considered.
Right. But we have
Just
a lot of
because
not Sabaton fans in the chat, which is surprising because I mean this is right a power metal chat.
And I'm saying this as not a big Sabaton fan.
Yeah.
Other than their most recent album, I was like, ooh, like this is actually really good. Like the guitar playing is like kind of up to another level. But I've never been really big into Sabaton, to be honest.
Yeah.
But objectively, I kind of have to look at it that way, and it's like, I would, if you're giving somebody an essential power metal list, I almost say they deserve to be on it.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, and hey, I flavor down 420. First of all, really put a smile on my face with your name. Happy birthday yesterday, by the way. Art of War and the Swedish version of Careless Rex are great. I do definitely agree. I think the Swedish version of Careless Rex is definitely a pretty cool concept. I love a band releasing an English album and a Swedish album, native language and in English, especially when the English one sucks compared to the native language one. Really warms my heart as someone who's a big fan of the international nature of metal. You love to see the English version just be like, give me the one I can't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But Sabaton has merch for literally everything. Sounds pretty essential to me. Yeah, on my stream we've deep dived the Sabaton merch game, and you can get like You can get like there's like a Sabaton Lego set, but it's not Lego. It's like it's like
So you don't want to get sued by Lego.
yeah, it's like some like off-brand Lego, but it's a Sabaton off-brand Lego set. It like comes with like a DVD and stuff. They have a gaming chair. They do have gaming chairs. You can get Sabaton gaming chairs, desk. See, this is some of the normal stuff, but once you the Sabaton sunglasses are pretty wild. Yeah. Hey Daniel, just quickly Google Sabaton gaming chair. That's or in the search bar there, put gaming chair. That's the big ticket item. That's the one you've got to spend all day playing skee ball to win. There it is.
So
there it is in all its glory.
What makes it? Oh, the S.
The S. Baby.
What makes it Sabaton?
If Hammerfall is not considered essential due to chat votes, we might as well move on. LOL. I mean, I get it. Scruggs Corp bringing a pretty good point. I mean, yeah, if we put this to a vote, people are gonna the townspeople are gonna get out their torches and pitchforks.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say when you were trying to limit it to 10.
Well, trying to limit it to 10. Yeah,
power metal albums. I do have a few albums in mind that I 100% believe belong to be on there without a shadow of a doubt.
All right, well, hey, the chat seems almost unanimous in decision on this, so let's get a Grant's pick.
My pick for an essential album would be Sonata Arctica's Ecliptica in 99, right in the heyday. Another one guitar keyboard band, and you can almost argue maybe it could be lumped into the symphonic, but maybe later on. But this album is just like pure of straight up power metal riffs, really good vocals. Some could say a little emotional at times, but I absolutely love them. I think this album deserves to be in an essential list for sure.
We've definitely got a lot of fans. Yes. Passionate Introvert, yes. Tekken Jesus, yes. Shar, great album. Frankenfloof, yes. Flavor Town 420, great pick. Passionate Introvert's first 3 Sonata albums are great. Tekken Jesus, also great bonus track. Are we figuring out another defining thing of great power metal? Great bonus tracks. Old Sonata was El Drastico's favorite band. Intoxicator, 55, yes. #1 album. Shar saw Sonata Arctica at Wacken in 2013. The crowd was singing every word. I'd hate choosing a single album as the best of their first 3. All right, well, this one it was the same but opposite as Sabaton, where we're not even the only naysayers are saying, but how can I choose only one?
Yeah. I mean that's the thing, man. Old Sonata Arctica is so good.
Yeah, and this was what the chat's been clamoring for this one over the course of the stream. So seems poll of the first 3/4 albums. All right. We could put it. The people love polls. We give the people what they want. Let me get.
El Drastico has got a list of very awesome albums there. I agree with every single one of those, El Drastico. Although I don't know if I've listened to Iron Fire.
All right, let's get we're typing poll in the chat. We're getting it going. Choose your album! ! We got Ecliptica. We got Silence. And just first three are we doing? Damn, people.
Yeah, I'd say so.
First three. All right, first 3 minutes on the clock. The poll's already active. Damn, Craig beat me to it. Thanks, Craig.
First 4.
First 4. Damn, damn, and undermined me. I'm looking less powerful over here. We do have an interesting, there was an interesting highlighted message that I want to read. Yoko Matsumoto. I forget this is an essential power metal discussion. Can I mention one band outside of Europe and America? I want to shout a power metal band from Indonesia called Power Metal. Their one-hit album, their one-hit wonder, Timur Tragedy, is a huge boom in Indonesia in the 90s. Please give it a listen. Well, it is an essential power metal album list where we're talking about the biggest, so it won't make the list, but I have pulled it up. I will absolutely check this out. We all around here love finding albums from all corners of the world. It's so great to go to a different country and see how, they take on a genre that we love. So really cool to hear. I've got that tab open. I'm gonna toss a little bookmark on that for later, and we'll definitely check that out. This is the fun thing. You also find out not only do we get to talk about stuff we absolutely love, we get to find out a couple little new things we might wind up loving.
Oh man, I went on to Reddit and did a little post to get everybody's feedback there.
Oh yeah,
in the our power metal. And because when I was first contacted about this, I thought we were gonna skip like the essentials and just go to modern power metal bands. So I was like, guys, let me know any of modern power metal bands that you think need to be mentioned. And dude, I have a list of like 20 bands I haven't heard of that I need to check out now.
Well, there's a couple of modern ones I want to talk about, and we've got Ecliptica by a wide margin, 21 people, 70% of the vote. So that seems a pretty strong showing. And Pit DG, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We got a lot of support. I mean, and hey, the Padre Semaj, thanks for the follow as well. Now, I feel like this is another band I'm going to toss out there, and people are going to go who. But if we're speaking a little bit about modern, it's a bit of a jump ahead, I know, but we've been saying modern a little bit, and honestly, my favorite find in the last little while. I was a little late to the party, but have gone back and 2014, so we're jumping ahead a little bit, and I'm sure it's not going to make the essentials list, but I do just want to talk about it on the stream because this is the band that I was hinting at earlier that simultaneously plays amazing power metal, but then they make a music video where they're totally hamming it up, and they both know it's a joke, but the joke is their life, and they love it. Twilight Force, Tales of Ancient Prophecies, coming out in 2014. One of the modern power metal bands that I think is truly carrying the torch of what I love about power metal.
I agree, man. Yeah, I saw them live on 70,000 Tons, and holy hell, those guys know how to play. Some of the best guitar work I think I've ever seen is from these guys. Obviously carrying the torch from like Rhapsody. Yeah, and really throwing homage to that European style of power metal.
Dawn of the Dragon Star is great. Yeah, that's definitely been one of my favorite, most played power metal albums in a long while. The cover is so awful. You don't love that cover? I absolutely love that cover. That's, again, one of those covers where it's like, is that an album cover? Is that a Hero Quest expansion? I don't know. I don't care. Let me crack into it.
That does not look like an album cover that came out in the past. When was that? 2014?
2014.
Yeah, it looks like it's from the 80s.
It even looks like it's a scan of like a slightly faded copy of the album, where you're like on Discogs trying to find a good high-res version of the album art, and you're like, well, I can see there's some staples from the booklet, but I'll have to go with it. So again, I don't know if that's essential, but certainly I think one of the best modern that at least deserves a shout out here. I think this stream proves the need for modern essentials list.
Yeah.
I love
so.
this. I love this. I mean, we were 10 minutes into your appearance, and we've already booked your second one. I love it. I love it.
Beautiful.
Maybe
keep
we
me
can
booked for the year.
we can maybe get a second maybe. Hey, we'll call up Twilight Force, grab one of the guys from there to come in, and we can have two modern masters give us a master class.
I had a couple other guests actually mine that I reached out to this morning when I got asked if we can find another guy, and they were both very interested but couldn't do it today. So maybe we can bring on some more voices for sure.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna maybe I'll be able to sneak them in, but I'm gonna keep them in the rest. But they're in some good company in the rest, so I'm not.
Yeah. I think that's fair for making an all-time power metal essential list.
Is tricky because just haven't had quite the time to percolate, but I firmly believe they'll get there. But that was my little passion project. What are we getting next? What are we saying?
Do you have anyone else that you think is like without a shadow of a doubt essential?
I mean, if we're okay being super modern, I mean, I'll say it. This isn't me just fluffing. This isn't me just fluffing. I gotta say it. You guys, your team over there, this gang, you guys, I mean, have been. For a modern power metal band, you've been flawless on album covers, which is a thing to dodge. All albums have been absolutely amazing. You just won a Juno. You got the nod, the big nod. You guys, I mean, you guys are doing it. I really, the new album's obviously amazing, and I know everybody always wants to talk about the newest albums they made, but Apex has had the time to sit there, had really time to kind of mature and really, hey, you know what that album is? I'd say that album is an apex of power metal. Hey, let's do it.
All right, shut down the screen. This is going downhill.
I think, yeah. That's, I mean, no fluff, no, just because you're here, this is truly, I can't say enough great things. Man, the start of that album, that's the kind of thing, we were talking about. You guys, I mean, you condensed it down to 5 seconds, but that the power metal fake out where it kind of starts with not that much happening, and then it's you guys can sustain it for maybe 5 seconds before you're ah! and kind of just explodes, and then the album never stops. Truly love it. Amazing.
Cool,
album.
Man. I appreciate it. I obviously can't have an opinion on this one.
This is where you go. We're not power metal. We're heavy metal. We're
yeah, whether it deserves to be on the essential with all these great albums, it's really tough for me to say.
I absolutely put you in a hard seat. And hey, some people have been saying, how is there no Blind Guardian on the list when clearly Blind Guardian got not even a small inclusion on the list. It's sitting up there with Halloween as potentially a legend. So. All right. Now that I've thoroughly embarrassed you, now that your cheeks are rosy, and yes, don't forget, Unleash the Archers. You can catch on Twitch, and you can catch Grant on his channel as well, regularly streaming. You'll catch me in there too, DK as well. The Banger team likes to hang out in there, so make sure you're supporting Unleash the Archers. Make sure you're supporting Grant, and Yeah. We've got some going back in time a little bit. We've got some. It has been a recurring band being talked about throughout the whole thing. Not a huge chorus, but a consistent chorus of gamma rays.
Yep. Yep.
We're starting to.
I mean, they're on my list.
We're starting to get a little irradiated over here. We're starting to get a little green.
Yeah, I think gamma ray is like the AC/DC of power metal. It's like they've always just been consistent to the true core of power metal. Kai Hansen, probably one of the biggest figures in power metal for sure, hands down, being very much involved with early Halloween, branching off, and then doing gamma ray. Passion introvert. I'm kind of along the same lines. They were always like a solid average for me. I think they're really good, but they were never exceptional. But you can't deny that they were a very big part of power metal. So it's a really tough one. Land of the Free, a really good album, but it doesn't belong in the essentials list. That's up for discussion, I guess.
All right, maybe it's a vote. Maybe it's a poll. Maybe it's a poll about gamma ray, because there has been a lot, certainly, but there has been a lot of, like I said, a steady stream, but not an avalanche, not a tide. Are they a band that just gets the job done, or are they a band that truly carries the flag across the finish line, puts the team on their back, so to speak? What do you think, Chat? What do you think, Chat? Let's hit it with a poll. Gamma ray, what you say? Yay
or nay?
Or nay? We have fun around here. Camelot's Epica is being Eli Unger really wants us to talk about Camelot. We will undoubtedly get to Camelot, but we do need to. Camelot's one that does need to be kind of mulled.
Yeah, you can't have an episode around power metal without talking about Camelot. That's for sure.
Hey, Eye on the TV, thanks for the 100 bits. I don't know what's happening with the bits are coming out of our little thing, but we got to figure that out. But hey,
get a little piece of it.
We're seeing it, we're hearing it. Every stream we're figuring out something. We're getting it there. Damn, Gamma Ray. Hey, Gamma Ray fans apparently are
wow,
silent.
Nice. Okay.
Are silent but mighty, because that's
silent but deadly.
That's a pretty strong showing already.
Yeah.
We've got 25.
I mean, they are a huge part of the movement for sure. They're right in that like heyday, and they actually kind of kept the torch going after Keeper of the Seven Keys, even though they didn't get really big.
Yeah.
Maybe because grunge was really big during that time. Early 90s power metal in general wasn't booming, and that's kind of when they were really working really hard.
I mean, I don't want to say they're power metal jobbers, but they're a little power metal jobbers, it's always weird when you have those European bands that have been going as long as they have, but aren't that huge, people in the crowd waving flags, going nuts, buying the gaming chairs.
Yeah,
but it seems like, hey, it's not up for debate. We got 28-5. That is a pretty meaty answer to that question.
Mm-hmm. And it's I think picking an album is going to be even harder because for me, there's not like a real telltale standout album. They're all just like really good.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm interested to see how this goes in the poll.
All right. All right. So let's do the vote is the vote's almost over, and yeah, pretty unanimous, 28-6 with the yays. So that's in. That's a pretty strong showing. We can get another poll
Yeah.
going for the album. Your album choice. So, what three are we putting? Obviously,
I would go for 4 to be honest.
4. All right.
Yeah, I would go with Land of the Free,
Yep.
Somewhere Out in Space,
Mm-hmm.
Power Plant, and No World Order.
All right.
Like that run I think was the strongest from Gamma Ray. Even though I like really like Majestic as well, which is like the next one. But I don't know how many we want to throw in there.
Okay, we got 4. We got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes on the clock. Now's your chance. This is in. So which one?
It's a
is in?
tough, man. If I'm gonna vote in this too, and it's a tough one.
Yeah, we got some movement. Oh. Damn, yeah, we're not even getting a clear. No one's coming out ahead. Land of the Free with a strong showing, Somewhere Out in Space, and No World Order. Falling behind a little bit now. Looking like Land of the Free, but if you don't want it to be Land of the Free, now's your chance. If you want to lock down this Land of the Free, hurry up and do it. And hey,
Majestic is great, but it kind of slows down its tempo. Yeah, it does. I'm a sucker for things like that sometimes, though. But I just like the that intro, the first track, My Temple, is just such a badass riff.
Land of the Free, looking like No World Order coming back. 7. We got 7, but it's looking. We're getting to the end. We need a big push to not have it be Land of the Free. Gamma Ray is a big band, but I don't think they're essential. Well, the chat does not agree with you, Passionate Introvert. The chat very strongly did not agree with you. Again, this is a bit the
I would almost even say they're not even that big.
Yeah, that's
they're almost like a I don't know what you would call it, but more of a niche,
yeah,
power metal band that they're still active. They've still been active this whole time.
Yeah,
but I don't think I've ever played in Vancouver. I've never seen them.
Yeah,
it's not like they're big enough to be touring a lot.
Yeah. Funky Pico, is there a Lockhorn schedule somewhere? The schedule, yeah, we're rolling this out. So every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time will be the start of Lockhorns. There might occasionally be a special Thursday Lockhorns, but we're just rolling out a bunch of Lockhorns to get you going. The Thursday streams will kind of be a little bit of variety. We'll have a little bit of a metal comedy doing his thing. DK might drop by. But yeah, if you're looking for the Lockhorn schedule, every Wednesday, 4:30 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be doing this with great guests like Grant. I mean, we've already made a case that it seems like Grant's coming back pretty soon. So yeah, if you're enjoying things, thanks for coming out. This has been a great showing. There's been so many people chatting and voting. Hey, Mess Life, good to see you. So yeah, just make sure you're followed, and if you want to get subscribed to the channel, you get some fun little emotes. With a little bit of metal flavor to the rest of your Twitch adventure. Love the vibes of the stream? Hell yeah. So we had our vote decided, Gamma Ray, pretty not quite unanimously as the vote to include them, but certainly a pretty strong vote for the album. Where are we going next? I mean, technically that is 10 albums. That is 10 albums, but now we can start getting into the nitty-gritty, kind of debating some of them, and kind of feeling what are we? Symphony X.
Yeah, Symphony X is a tough one. It's like, yeah, do you put them in power metal?
Yeah, right.
Or is there a whole new branch that needs to be crafted for prog power?
The prog power, yeah.
Progressive power metal. Which maybe
yeah, it's weird because like
Queensryche could be part of,
Queensryche could be part of, but the thing about progressive power metal is it's hard because it's like how much progressive power there's progressive power when you hear it, like Symphony X, you hear it and you go, this is progressive power metal, but it's definitely not symphonic. Obviously there's a massive amount of symphonic power metal band, right, and there's a massive amount of progressive metal, but the progressive power metal is a bit more of the kind of off the beaten track, so to speak.
Yeah, but you could also even put possibly Devin Townsend in that category.
Yeah, and it's like how much is the stink of progressive on you, where you just are a progressive band and you don't get any other. You're too progressive. Of course, you're gonna sound like a genre. You sound like every genre. Get out of here. Yeah. Go play your progressive music. I mean,
Debbie's on his own. I mean, that's the thing. It was do you put him in there? Question mark. Yeah. He's like, yeah. Where do you put him?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you just do a top 10 Devin Townsend related albums, and then that's how he gets included in Lockhorns. He just gets his own Lockhorns. Top 10 Devin Townsend things.
I do have another band I feel should be on Essential though.
Yep.
And that is Ed Guy.
Ed Guy. Hey, well, you're double dipping. You're double dipping with the Avantasia and Ed Guy.
Yeah. I believe they're two very different bands, though.
Two very different bands.
Yeah. Because Ed Guy's got its own career that happened before Avantasia, right? And then Avantasia just kind of happened afterwards, type thing. But like Ed Guy's Mandrake in 2001, it came out same year as Metal Opera, but Mandrake or the Hellfire Club to me are like quintessential power metal albums.
Yeah, and these for me a bit of a blind spot. Ed Guy and the Avantasia are two that I can't really weigh in on because I got some homework. I got some Ed Guy homework. Guy.
So to be honest, some of the Ed Guy stuff is like kind of is on the more cheesy kind of Hammerfall, almost joking a little bit, but Mandrake and Hellfire Club are just like serious power metal albums. Like Ed no filler, just like straight up. High tempo, soaring vocals.
That's one
guitar
of those
solos.
I think the barrier for me is that What the hell is that band name? Is it Ed Guy?
I don't. I
Is
have
Ed
no
Guy like a
idea.
thing I don't know? Is this a word I'm unfamiliar with, or no? Is this a German word? Because I search Ed Guy and all that comes up is Ed Guy. And hey, Metal Dan, thanks for the subscription. That's a name that's not bugging me. Seeing Metal Dan subscription and Ryan Scott's follow, but Ed Guy is just like Ed Guy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, why?
Why?
Like, yeah, like when you don't think about it, it's fine. But when you like stop to think about it, it's like,
Yeah.
what the hell is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And maybe
it does look good as a logo though. Like the logo is
yeah,
great.
the sharp, like I was like a sharp logo. I was like a logo that Batman could throw. But Ed Guy, I guess
Just
like
a
also
guy
there's-
named Ed.
right. It's like I guess there's also like a bit of like maybe a bit of the Canadian sound to it with just like I've just been called Guy a bunch of my life. So it's like, hey, this fucking Ed Guy, eh? And you're like, yeah, who's Ed? What's his deal? What's the deal with this fucking Ed Guy, eh? This Blaine guy,
Very
eh?
true.
What's his deal? There we go. There we go. All right. Well, this is another one. This is another one that can hit the chat. They can hit the chat. Poll. Ed Guy? Question mark. Yeah, bud.
Them and one other band I had on my essential question mark list that need to be put up for debate.
All right.
The other one being Camelot?
Camelot.
Question
Yeah.
mark?
We've got a rabid Camelot fan in the chat. Hey, Kudasari. Hey, still alive. Nice. Just got home from the gym. Nice. Getting a good pump on. That's power metal's perfect for that. Power metal. That's some good gym music. It's weird that like it's like the nerdiest of metal, but like it is the best gym music.
Dude, yeah, 100%.
You put a power metal on, you're gonna be able to run an extra like 2K. You're gonna be able to
That
lift
and like that and Meshuggah.
that Meshuggah, yeah. I do love Meshuggah is like the guy at the gym comes up to you. Hey man, do you like metal? Yeah, I don't really listen to metal, but man, I got some Meshuggah on right now, and I just wanted to say what's up.
Just got Bleed on repeat.
Yeah. So we've got the Ed Guy poll going, and then to go with Ed Guy, we've got Camelot to talk about, because again, this is a little progressive, but a lot less progressive than some of the other ones we're talking about for sure. So we'll hey, Ed Guy, we got a lot of Ed Guy fans. The Yeah Buds are creaming the no pals.
Creaming.
Getting creamed.
Not as much support as Gamma Ray, mind
Not
you.
as much support as Gamma Ray though. I feel like maybe even though we're getting some yeses, we need a couple more yeses. Whoa, Philip Michaels. Oh, we're getting. Thanks for subscribing to us on YouTube. That's why that looked. What the hell? Oops, YouTube subscriptions are on. Thanks for subscribing to us on YouTube, but we're on Twitch right now, and we're loving being on Twitch. Camelot and Primal Fear. Essential Gym albums, Lockhorns. Ooh, that's a pretty fun one.
That would be a good one. I'll come back for that one.
You'll come back for that one.
I'll stream it for my gym though.
Yeah, I'll stream it from oh damn, we're lethal weaponing this. We're making sure we got sequels coming out the wazoo. Then they're gonna make a television show.
Contract signed tonight.
Damn. Oh man. I was a little nervous, because we've done a couple of these and we've had, like 3 people bouncing back and forth. I was like, 2 people, remote. I'm not in the room with anyone. I wonder, is it going to be hard to fill 2.5 hours? Is it going to go? We're trying to turn this into a franchise.
Yeah.
What do you mean the
And
Hobbits?
no one's here to stop us.
What do you mean The Hobbit's short book? 3 movies.
Yeah.
The Hobbit should take as long to tell as The Lord of the Rings. Oh,
Love it.
love it. Okay, so Ed Guy, we're getting close to the end of the show. So Ed Guy, we'll toss up with we'll let Metal Archives pick this one for us. Mandrake pulling slightly ahead of Hellfire Club in both number of reviews and quality of said reviews.
I think Mandrake overall is the better album. I think Hellfire Club has maybe my favorite song on it, but
I hate when that happens.
yeah. But one song can't save an album.
No. Because I'm one of those people where I have I don't, because of the way I listen to music, I don't really have a, I don't make playlists. I listen to full albums. So
Oh, dude, 100%.
when I love a song, it's like, how the hell do I listen to this?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to put on the album and then 4 minutes later put on a different album?
That's usually like when people ask me like what my favorite bands are. I usually don't say I have a favorite band. I'm like, I have favorite albums.
Yeah. That old question where it's like, when people are like, name 3 songs by this band, I'm like, I can't name 3 songs by the band. I've never looked at the song list, I don't think. I can name you 3 albums. I can name you 3 albums that I love. I can sing along with the 3 albums. I can guess at the song names by knowing the lyrics, but I don't know if I've ever looked at I don't know if I just press play on the album, and that's all I need. All right.
Asked, is it Rise of the Morning Glory? No, it isn't. It's We Don't Need a Hero. It was the song. Because it seems like it's got 5 different choruses. It's like, oh, this has got to be the chorus. Oh no. Okay, this has got to be the chorus.
All right. So we're our list is a little getting a little long. So we've got the show's getting a little long. So we've really edged the chat about Camelot. So I think I do need to make a decision on Camelot, talk a little bit about Camelot, and decide kind of what we're doing about Camelot, and then we might have run out of sand in the hourglass.
Camelot.
Chalky Derby, it's past your bedtime. So yeah, Chalky Derby's got to go to bed. We can't have Chalky Derby tired for work and or school tomorrow. So let's get talking. Camelot to Symphonic from Passionate Introvert. What are we thinking, Chad? What are we thinking? Here, okay. I know we love polls. Everybody loves a poll. Everybody loves voting at a poll. We'll toss a poll down there.
I can give my opinion, but I don't know if I want to sway the poll.
Sway the poll. That's what you're here for. You're here.
I'm here for it. I think they land more in the symphonic metal. I think they're great. I love Karma and Epica. I think they're amazing albums. But I think they go into the symphonic power metal branch of things.
Okay, so we've got to pull up Camelot onwards to, or Keep on Driving. Let's see what the chat. But it's still power metal, yeah. But then we start getting. This is what we were saying with Nightwish. Is it lowercase s symphonic capital P power metal, or is it capital S symphonic lowercase p power metal? Yeah, it's all about the ratios. You put too much sodium nitrate, you don't stir it long enough or whatever, and then the whole place goes boom.
Of the Camelot albums, Epica is the only one you could really argue is symphonic power. Hot take.
I would say symphonic power metal is a subgenre of power metal, therefore still power metal. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But this is the kind of show where we could do a symphonic power metal episode. So Lowercase symphonic, capital power. How's the chat feeling? The chat is not agreeing. Intoxicator will fight to the death. We've got, look, I guess we're having a just Camelot Lockhorns episode soon too, because the chat cannot come to a consensus. Well, in the poll they can. In the poll they certainly can. Pretty. Alas, Camelot, 'tis a silly place. Alas, Camelot, 'tis a symphonic place. So, well, the poll has ended. 5 said onward to Camelot. 23 said keep on driving.
That's pretty unanimous.
That's pretty unanimous.
Yeah.
That's not the 50-50. We need to settle a tie that we had before. And you know what? That lands us on. We got the rest. We got the Proto, but with the Legend and the Essential, that lands us on 11 bands. We're supposed to pick 10, but I think we can make an exception because there's no way I'm taking your album off there. I'll say that right now.
If you take the Proto out, which
well, the Proto's not. The Proto
that.
doesn't count because that's not power metal. There our essential power. You know, the Proto doesn't count towards our count.
then we have 10.
Rest. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. We got
Am I
2 up
counting
in
it wrong?
Legend. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't count. I mean, there are guys. I agree. There are still a lot that need to be thrown in the rest that have not been mentioned.
There's still a lot to be mentioned, but we have been talking for 2.5 hours.
I probably have another 20 or 30 bands on a
right?
list here that could be talked about.
I mean, yeah, again, like I said, you know, power metal is one of those things where I go like, I don't ever remember how many power metal bands I like, and then we do a list like this, and I go like, do I like power metal more than any other genre of metal?
I wasn't sure how much you actually liked it, to be honest.
Oh yeah, well, because it's
like, am I going to be the one here convincing Blaine that these are actually good albums?
no power like it's. I mean, to counter what I'm saying here, for me, it's my like guilty pleasure thing. It's the thing that I find. I say guilty pleasure because it's to me, the ratios seem different, I guess, until I did something like this. Because obviously, like, I'd say, like, oh, well, the ratio's off. I love some power metal bands, but I hate most power metal bands. But then I think about, like, when I do my streams and, like, the amount of black metal that comes up, and I'm like, I love black metal. Black metal's amazing. 99% of black metal bands should never have been made. Were a mistake. Put that away. Don't show that to anyone. You know. This has been super fun because it was definitely the most surprising to me because I came in as a power metal fan and left as like a power metal fan with some gosh darn homework. I'll say that.
Damn right. Yeah, same here.
Yeah. And I guess the other barrier, a little barrier I've had with power metal is like I've never seen like a small power metal show. You know what I mean? Like I saw Outre-Tombe. That was my first concert back from COVID at this place called Seascapes. It's like a cyberpunk nerd bar. The upstairs is a venue, and there was probably like somewhere between like there's probably like 50 people there. Like that's my favorite like show atmosphere, and like that is not where you generally see power metal bands.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say I've played a lot of small power metal shows.
Yeah, I mean, of the one person I can say that to, I'm probably the person I can least say that to.
Yeah.
But hey, can I book you to play a 50-person room so I can get that experience that I've always craved?
I mean, so those are some of the best shows.
Yeah.
Like when you're seeing a band with 50 people.
Yeah.
And it's like a band that is so tight that's like, this is a world-class band.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
happened to me. Seeing 3 Inches of Blood in
Ooh,
Golden, BC on an off night. They rebooked it. We were in town on an off day, and we saw them. This was a week before they went to go play Vakken on the main stage. So they were like main stage Vakken tight, and we saw them with like 50 people in a small little bar.
that's
And it was like,
yeah, man. 3 Inches of Blood. That is a Canadian classic. That I got cursed. I never got to see them.
oh no way.
There was like things kept coming up, and then the show. I had tickets. I was all excited. There was like a crazy. They had to scrap a tour because there was this like crazy snowfall out in BC, and their bus. They were just like, "There's a road we need to get through, and we just can't, and we think we'll die if we try. So I'm so sorry. We've got to cancel this." And that was the last time I had tickets to a 3 Inches of Blood show. I think it was at Mod Club, so not a small venue, but definitely not going to see them at like, Rebel or Sound Academy, something like that. So, yeah.
Yo, El Drastico, I do remember that, man. I do remember that tour with Rhapsody Ordnogan, B Bob in Belgium. I can't say I can remember any details from that venue off a hand, but yes.
You don't remember Bebob, the iconic Bebob?
I mean, if I saw it, I would. But
Judo Chop Viking, the first show you worked was a 3 Inches of Blood show. That's pretty sick too.
yeah, 3 Inches was one of the first. I think it was the first show that I remember seeing as like a 12-year-old teenager in a.
Damn.
This was before they put out any album. They had a demo that was like on a burnt CD, written with Sharpie on it with like 3 songs.
I love that.
I think Cam Pipes was not officially in the band yet, but he was still performing with them, and that show changed my life, dude.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
wild one.
I
to
was
see at that
like
age.
12 years old. I was like front row, packed in this small little youth center, right in front of the guitarist. Oh man, yeah, I'll never forget that.
Damn. First Unleash the Archers show was Tiny Bar in South Carolina, says Artificial Fate. Damn. Judo
Yeah, we
Chop
played a
Viking-
lot of small shows in our past 10 years.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah,
thinks an overnight success. But
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that overnight success is just a thing that power metal appears because, like, you find out about a power metal band by their third album, but you go back and you look at those the first power metal band, and everybody's just generally so good at their instruments that it sounds like so much more ahead, so much more of a polished, well-oiled machine than a lot of bands, because everybody's just wizards.
yeah, you have to be. It's the music demands it.
Yeah.
That's what gravitated me towards it so much as a guitarist. It was like, I love melody. Like Maiden was the first band I got into, so
Yeah.
Obviously, as we spoke about before, that's like anything influenced by them is going to be good.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time. That's been our show. Grant, give us a plug for what you're doing so the chat can check you out, because clearly they loved you. We loved having you, and I'm sure everybody would love to get more Grant in their life.
Man, I would say just follow my Twitch page. I'm on there very often, multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times throughout the day. Check out the band, unleashthearchers.com, for anything towards that. And that's about it for me. We just finished a bunch of gigs locally here, so we are just writing for the new album, hanging out, streaming lots. So that's about it.
Yeah, and my mission after this, besides the couple bands I like, I'm trying to hunt down an Apex shirt. I realized
I will join the hunt for you.
You'll join the hunt for me. This is the greasy thing I do. I always find bands like when I found a piece of merch that I love for a band and can't find it, I'm always like, hey, so I'll pay for it, but if you can find me this thing that's sold out, I'll wear it on BangerTV and I'll give it a good plug. Hey, come on. So, always happy to have you. Happy to finally get to do something with you together.
Likewise.
Yeah, we've been ships in the night until now, but this was great. Thanks everybody for coming out. The chat was great. Again, this is, we're doing this every Wednesday and Thursday. Thursdays we'll get a little more variety out there, but every Wednesday will be Lockhorns, and we'll always make sure to have great guests like Grant, and Grant will absolutely be back because this was a great time. Thanks so much to everybody for coming out. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.